Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy Springs here, the better half of Floating Mana. Now, I hope everyone's having a great day because today we're bringing at you a banger. And as a banger, it's a top 5 list, or it's not really top 5 because they can go in any order. But these are the 5 cards that we picked from Barrens that in the Theorcrafting stream, in the early release of the cards, you and maybe other people like myself thought, oh my gosh, these are going to be really good in the meta, but they just didn't end up shaping out like that with all the play and testing that we've been able to do with them. Stick around, watch the video, drop in the comments if you're like, oh, this card's actually pretty good, dude, you're just dumb. Let me know because I feel like these cards aren't that good right now, but everything on this list definitely has potential to one day see meta play and be absolutely broken. Check it out. Number 5. For a number 5 spot, we have a card that I thought was going to be really good whenever I first saw it in the releases, and that's Veteran War Medic. Now, Veteran War Medic is a 4 mana 3/5 that reads after you cast a Holy Spell, you're going to summon a 2/2 Medic with Lifesteal. Now, the 2/2 Medic with Lifesteals and whatever, so in my mind, it was Violet Teacher. And from releases that I saw, from some people playing like early expansion, the card looked pretty solid. But then over time, how the meta has shaped up, it's too aggro. You're not going to be able to play it on 4 and it stick and then get the value next turn. So if you're playing it, you got to try to play it with the Holy Spell that turn. And that's where the issue arises, right? If you're playing the card, it's probably going to be slotted into Libram Paladin, if anything. And if it's slotted into Libram Paladin, you have to hope you get the 1 mana 1/3s to discount your small Libram by 1, but you have to hope to get 2 of those. And you have to hope to get Libram of Hope or Libram of Wisdom, and then when you get it, it's like getting the pieces of Exodia, right? You have to hope to get this every time for War Medic to be good, and why run that when you could just run a card that's good by itself? Crab Rider. Boom. Better buff target, better everything. But I do think if the meta slows down, Libram Paladin might be playing this card. Let's move on. Number 4. Okay, guys. Now, in our number 4 spot, we got Celestial Alignment. Now, Celestial Alignment, when it was shown, it was like, is this card gonna be good? It seems kind of weak. But then the Theory Crafting streams came out, and the card looked crazy. People were doing nutty stuff with Mali. Like, you were just getting all this board. Your opponent couldn't do nothing. But then when we got more testing, more decks refined, we realized that it was shit. Now, the reason it is so bad is just due to, one, it's slow, and you have to rely on getting your ramp really early. I mean, that's just a druid thing. But if you don't have early ramp, Celestial Alignment is going to suck because your opponent's already generated a board. And that's another thing that's really bad about Celestial Alignment is you cannot play when your opponent has a board because you're reducing yourself to 1. Your opponent has like 4 minions. You're not dealing with them. You're taking the face damage. So even if they only have 1 mana, all their cards cost 1 mana, and they're just going to continue to tempo on you. The only time you really have a chance to come back is when you have some nutty Nourish or Mali play following it up. And relying on drawing all the ramp to get to the Celestial Alignment, then to have Mali, it all kind of just falls off and falls back, right? It's just better to play Clown, and I think that's why this card fell off. But I do think with more Druid support over time, maybe next expansion or the expansion after that, Celestial Alignment is becoming a super, super good card, and it's going to be a force we reckon with one day. Let's move on to the next one, guys. Number 3. So for our number 3 spot, we have a controversial one, right? Morshan Elite. Now, I don't think Morshan Elite is good. I think it's a good card by itself, but so is every other card on this list. But the thing that really hurts is mainly Control Warrior just doesn't have that many tools. Like, they have a lot of cards, but not enough survivability. And usually Morshan Elite's being played in like a Control Warrior. And if Control Warrior's bad, then Morshan Elite's bad. But on top of that, it's weapon dependent, right? Now, we do have a good weapon. The 4 mana 3/3 kills a minion, you draw a card. Great weapon. You have the 2/5 Pirate, equips a weapon, great card. But there are still times where you draw Morshan Elite, you don't have a weapon, and it feels super bad. And this is coming from someone who's tried to make Control Warrior work a good amount. It just falls off. And then the added thing is summons a copy. So the fact that it summons a copy in my mind, like, sure, that's super strong. You're summoning like a 5 mana 8/8, but it's not a 5 mana 8/8. You're summoning a 5 mana 2/4/4s. And with the aggro meta right now, dealing with two 4/4s is a lot more forgiving than dealing with one 8/8 minion. We already know that in the form of Flesh Giant, right? Flesh Giant comes down right now. That's hard to deal with because it's just a big 8/8, right? Anything that they trade in is dying. But Paladin, mainly, they don't care about your 4/4s because they don't mind taking 4 damage to a minion that has freaking 7 health. So it's just going to survive. They're still going to have tempo. You're still going to have to clear them after it. So all of that together just makes Morshot Elite fall off, even though it is a great card. But then, if we get more Control Warrior tools, it's a card that can definitely see play in the future. Let's move on. 2 more left, baby. Number 2. Now, for our number 2 spot, this is a card that a lot of people had really high hopes for, and that is a 10 mana 10/10 boy in the name of Mordresh Fireeye. Now, Mordresh, it's such a cool card. We tried to make it work so much, but it doesn't work. It just doesn't. In every build, you have to run your wildfires, right? Wildfire is a slow card. You're spending 2 mana to buff your hero power, right? That in itself, it's kind of bad. Late game, it doesn't matter, right? Because you have the extra mana. But usually you want to play it early, so by the time you hit 10 mana, you're playing your Mordresh. So taking turn 2 to Wildfire, sure, it's the best thing you could have on turn 2 in that specific deck, but you lost tempo, right? Like, Hunter doesn't care if you do 2 mana do nothing. Paladin doesn't care if you do 2 mana do nothing. Like, well, you're not doing anything. And that's what feels really bad. And then it's even worse if you queue into Priest, because Priest is just like, oh, I'll heal that back. Thank you. And, like, just all this for being rewarded with a 10 mana 10/10 that deals 10 to everything. Like, it sounds so good. But you got, like, Death. Paladin doesn't care because their minions are already 10/10s. They can put up taunts. Like, and then you're playing this 5-card package, right? It's a 5-card package, 2 of the minion, 2 of the Wildfire, Mordresh, right? And those 5 cards can just be better cards, right? Because you're playing all these cards, you're not really getting damage. Your only real way of winning is the Mordresh to do the 10 burst, okay? Hero powers over time, and then maybe you slot in like a fireball or some other direct damage, but then we've just seen that doesn't work. You can just take that out. You can run Mask of Cthulhu, you can run more like direct damage. So like overall, it's just not good. Even with people trying to play Potion of Illusion in the deck, that's slow because you have to hope your Mordresh dies, right? Just getting back the 4 mana minion isn't good. So I think the whole package overall is just flawed. Mordresh is a great card, right? Maybe in the upcoming like buffs, they buff the package altogether, right? Maybe make Wildfire give your hero power plus 2 more. That'd be kind of broken. But, only time will tell. But at first glance, card looked amazing, right? Theorycrafted streams, dude, card looked amazing, looked fun. Its animation is sick, but it just falls off. Now, let's move on to the number 1, baby. Number 1. Now, for our number 1, this is a really powerful card. Scabs Cutter Butter. Now, who wouldn't like to cut butter? Who wouldn't like scabs? Like, they're both enjoyable things. But, all seriousness, 3 mana 3/3, amazing effect, combo, the next 2 cards you play cost 3 less. Crazy card, hella discounts. But I think the main issue that Scabs has is it's a card in your deck. Like, discounts are good, right? Octobot's good because you can play Octobot early. You don't have to rely on, like, comboing him. He's gonna trigger. You have ways to trigger him yourself. So you don't need even more discounts in the form of Scabs. And actually drawing Scabs doesn't feel great. Like, why run Scabs to do something that every other card in your deck does anyways? You don't need combo cards, right? You don't need draw, you don't need value, you don't need discounts because you have Octobot. So at the end, this card it's a weird card that fills your deck that you'd rather just have like a Jandis. You'd rather just have like an extra secret. You'd rather have something that helps you a little more than, hey, let me tempo out my hand a little better. Let me There's just no real combo, right? A huge discount card like this has to have some actually good combo. The only combo with it right now is doing like an Alex combo that you have to set up over like 30 turns, get discounts on a million things, and altogether it just falls apart. So Scabs doesn't have a list, right? It's very tempo heavy rogue right now. And Scabs doesn't help that. Like, at best, you're getting this 3 mana 3/3, and it's not even a 3 mana 3/3 because you have to play a card before it. So, at best, it's a 4 mana 3/3. Then the next two cards get discounted by 3, and then this and that. But see, honestly, by that time, you're already draw, like, you want to draw. If you're getting to the point of Scabs where, like, hey, let's discount my hand, you're probably not winning because you're playing a slow deck. And if you're playing a slow deck, you're not playing the right rogue deck because you're not winning. Okay, the only rogue deck that's winning right now is maybe Poison Rogue, right? They don't want room for Scabs. They just want more poisons, more weapons, right? More tempo cards. That, or the actual tempo list that draw off of the when you play battle card, draw a card. Now that's really good with Scabs, right? You play that, you play Scabs, you're usually gonna pop off right there. But what are you taking out? Right, like that's the biggest thing in a lot of these decks right now. It's why these cards don't fit. It's because, like, what are you taking out to make these cards work? And that's where Scabs lies. Okay, but dude, if Rogue gets like any crazy card that, like, cheating it out is nutty, right? Or like multiple of them, Scabs is gonna see play. I think Scabs has the most, like, playability out of any of the cards we just listed, and it's definitely going to hit a Rogue deck one day. It'll be like, if Rogue ever hits tier 1, I think Scabs will be in the deck. Now, if you don't agree with me on any of these cards on the list, or you have extra input on some of these cards, hey, comment down below. I'd love to reply. I'd love to hear your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? I'm live every day at twitch.tv/floatingmana. Do your thing, right? Like, comment, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think, boy.